it. So that's my dad, Sean Yates, Lance. Having a bit of fun. National Champs jersey, probably Tour de France. 300-kilometre long Milan-San Remo. Don't know what year, it doesn't say what year it is. Best Young Rider trophy from the Tour de France when it started in London. Yeah, it's like the Tour of Sweden, like most aggressive rider trophy or something like that. I never felt any pressure because I never really wanted to be or like expected to be or thought I would be a pro cyclist, because I started cycling when I was like 18, and you got like people winning like Olympic medals at 18, so it's just not realistic really anyway. So I just didn't really, it was nice not to have any sort of pressure. My friend made this. He collects like retro cycling kit or just like cycling kit in general. It's like a Sean Yates mashup jersey. So it's like 7-Eleven, Motorola, Fagor, like three jerseys into one. My name's Liam and I'm a cyclist from the Ashdown Forest in Sussex, and I'm going to make a tea. Well, I started riding, I got a mountain bike just as a kid, maybe like everyone does, and I just started cycling by going out. I lived in the same place I do now, and we went out into the forest, into the woods, just riding around there, some jumps. There's tons of like there is in every woods, like, you know, those like bomb holes and things like that. Razzing around there on a bike, and that was basically how I got into cycling. One day I went to the trails, or the jumps, and they'd been like ploughed, bulldozed down. It was like someone had died, for me, basically. But then that was actually quite a good thing, because it meant I had to go down to the skate park, which is where I met loads of my friends who were also into BMXing, and that sort of made me actually get into it properly. Because before that I'd just go up the jumps on my own and just, or just with like Jesse or whatever, and just have a bit of fun. But that meant I properly got into BMXing, which was a good thing in the end. Yeah, I think I prefer mountain biking, probably the most, but not like more just like not mountain biking as in like trail riding, more just like basically road riding off-road, just basically to get away from the cars. Another funny story, when I started BMXing, we went to Horsham skate park for the first time. Well, I went there for the first time with a group of my friends, and I arrived, went up onto the deck of the quarter pipe, and they have like a spine there. It was like 5 or 6 foot, 6 foot maybe, like wooden skate park. And so we've got a spine at Forest Road skate park, but it's like a really weird concrete thing that's like this high. And I said to my mate, like, "Oh, how's the spine to ride?" And he was like, "Yeah, it's chill. Yeah, it's fine. Just go for it." So I just basically just dropped in straight away, first time ever being there, and did it. Like, aired the other side, came back and did it back, and like just went onto the deck, and like, "Oh yeah, it's quite cool." And then they were all like, "What the fuck?" None of us had ever done it before, and it was quite funny, like what you would do if you sort of just believe it's going to be okay. So that's also like translates a lot into like ultra distance riding, when you're trying to like, you know, really push the boundaries, ride for longer than you've ever ridden before, go over like higher elevation climbs you've like never reached that height before, or different weather conditions. If you just like don't worry about it, it normally turns out alright.
Just don't think about what you're doing. Just
don't think about it and just do it. So that translated quite well into like ultra distance riding, I think. It definitely had an influence on me cycling, because when I got my road bike to cycle to work after I left school, so I could commute, then as soon as I had a road bike, then he was, you know, keen on getting me involved in races, and yeah, we went out on like training rides together and stuff. So I definitely wouldn't have like been that like straight in the deep end if I had just started on my own, probably, for sure. He did used to coach me, yeah, but I just didn't like being coached at all, so I've just never really been coached. Whenever I had a good result, people just expect, oh well, it's like expected. We started watching Drive to Survive, and obviously Mick Schumacher joins that whatever team it is, and yeah, people just expect him to be amazing. Obviously, he's already pretty good. You can't do anything right, really. So I guess a lot of people who have successful parents who are in sport, then yeah, it is quite sort of a double-edged sword. That's like my ice bath. I haven't used it in ages though. All this stuff's for sale, if you're interested. When I very first started cycling, I did used to ride the turbo in the shed at my dad's house. So for a while I used to do the rollers every morning before breakfast. So that was quite like a bit of good bit of structure. The most structure I ever did was probably just on the rollers, to be fair.
Is that just more to do with track stuff? Like,
just because it was like easy to hop on, like it just felt like less intense. So I normally just ride the rollers in the evening in the dark or whatever, just like with my headphones on outside the house, or it just like keeps you like engaged a bit more riding the rollers, I think. Yeah, so it's just about fun really, just like riding the rollers, just a bit more something to it. Fuck. I like part of the reason why I think I got a following on Instagram randomly was just because I enjoy taking photos and talking about how my trips went, and like that's basically storytelling. So that's what meant that I ended up getting sponsors and could do this full time. So I guess with adventure as well, like you're getting more out of it than if you don't win. It's not the end of the it's not the end of the world. Like you've got something out of it as well because you've had an adventure, you've had a trip. Whereas if you do like a race and you don't win, then like you've just not really got much out of it, I guess. I like having a balance of certain events I target to try and perform, and then certain events I target just to have fun, have an adventure, complete them. And also it's fun being part of the community as well. Like, and if you don't go to an event, then you're basically not part of the community. You don't see people if you don't go to these events and on these trips. So yeah, it's a bit of everything, I think, for me. The mystery tour is my cycling event. Basically, it's called the mystery tour just because. I forget that bit. I don't know why it's called the mystery tour. I was just going riding and finding trying to make a massive route basically. Then I was going to make public for people to try and ride them if people wanted to ride it themselves. And I was sharing all this exploration on my online, and people sort of really got involved. So after a while I was like, well, why can't I just make my own event? Yeah, just a really hard day out basically. And it sort of ranges anywhere between 250k to 300k in distance. First and second year we had 13 finishes out of 100 starters. So not many people at all. But people keep coming back, they like it. People like pushing themselves. With long distance races you get peaks and troughs, nothing lasts forever, the bad times. A lot of times if you're on a race far away and you scratch, the troubles don't stop. You don't just hop in a team car and get driven back to the start and go home. You don't want to have any normal clothes. You still have to find your way home, and if there's no public transport you still got to ride. So it's a lot of the time it is good just to continue going. My main event is going to be the Tour Divide again, which I did last year. That's from Banff, Alberta, Canada down to Mexico. Yeah, just seeing if I can push it a bit more than last year. See you out there, yeah.